Footscray lead by 10 points starting this final term. Umpire throws it up. Footscray have the breeze. Grigic gets it down, taken by West, who boots it wide. Awkward bounce for Cameron. Damon Shaw tried to trap it. Croft came through. Watts is in there. We've got a whistle, and the ball up just outside the centre square. 3 late goals to Tony Lockett in the previous quarter have given St Kilda some sort of a chance here. The great 7-goal second term really set up Footscray. Can they capitalise here? Here's Watts. Down towards half forward goes the kick. In front was Grant. That's David Grant fisting away.
Free kick, come on.
Should have got a free kick and will. Now he's slow to get up. That was a very nasty one.
A very dangerous situation in that, with a play down with his head over the ball. Just Chris Grant a little bit too late there. I don't think there was much intent in it.
Well, Damon Shaw's got the ball, and that's good news. Kicks from half back. He's a little groggy. It comes out towards the wing. Footscray surround the ball. Hunter got it from West. The kick floats down towards half forward. Ralph Smith got a fist on it. Keogh in trouble. Just let the ball fall. Perhaps could have done a little more. This is Johnson. About 80 metres from goal, goes down towards full forward. Osborne surrounded, offhands and falls behind. Osborne did very well in a tight situation. Still he goes, wheels around, snaps. That's a magnificent goal. What a beauty.
His fourth.
Well, that situation was really made for Richard Osborne there. As the trainers have a look at Damon Shaw's neck after that clash with Chris Grant. There's a great tackle again by Chris Grant, spilling to Johnson. Brad Johnson drives it long. It spills to the right side for Richard Osborne, as you will see here. Just in the right position. The bounce of the ball helping him, just getting around too easily around Matthew Lappin. And that situation, as I said, just perfect for Richard Osborne.
So back to the centre, and that was the one that Stan Alves didn't want. Johnson, who's been lively, onto Beveridge. And you can say the same about him, especially early. Osborne again. Well, it looks like a carbon copy. If he kicks it, breaks one tackle, goes at goal, low trajectory kick. In fact, we'll call it a grubber.
He's ran too far, Pete, so a free kick against Richard Osborne.
It's a strange matchup, though, isn't it?
It is. It's not a good matchup with Packett on him.
You'd think Frawley would be the man.
Well, Frawley's had the job on Chris Grant. So that's the wonderful thing, Pete, of having a few options in the forward line.
This is Devonport. Oh, geez, it's like a plucked golf ball. That one, it just didn't...
Gone.
Holding the ball. He held it for a month and a half. Not aided by the bad bounce. Cameron. Oh, Beveridge chips into space, kicks at goal and misses. Oh, very lackadaisical from Luke Beveridge. A certainty he would have got his 3rd goal. As it is, he has kicked 2 goals too.
Oh, bad play by Beveridge. I suppose had he kicked it, they'd be patting him on the back. There wasn't good marking there by the St Kilda defence. So I suppose in that sort of instance, you've only got the split second to make the decision, but he really should have finished it off with a goal.
Justin Peckett kicks to Keogh, former Gardner medalist. Devonport in front of Steve Wallace on his own defensive 50-metre line. Thought about giving it off with a hand pass. Now goes direct, which is the best way for the Saints to go at this stage of the match. Vidovic and Lowe underneath it. Neither could bring down the mark. Bardsley is there, tries to paddle in front. He gets knocked over, and the umpire will bounce it just inside the square and just on Footscray's attacking side of centre. 17 minutes left in the match, and the scoreboard showing 13-9 to 10-10. The Saints desperate, but against the breeze. A tall order certainly in this last quarter. Nathan Burke, who's been terrific. Kick is short, out to Steve Wallace. Breaks the tackle of Bowie, but lost the ball in so doing. And the St Kilda defenders tie it up again. Now Harvey. Devonport loses it. Hunter takes the quick hand pass from Watts. He drives long and direct up towards full forward. No mark taken there. Beveridge this time. Can he make amends? Onto the left foot, turns and kicks, and he's done the same thing. He's missed. He might have missed a lot.
No, he's got to be behind there, Pete.
Just
snuck it in.
One behind to Luke Beveridge. 2 goals, 3.
Could have had 5 today. Here's Peckett. Goes in short to the pocket. And Shaw chips it out wide. Lappin. Back to Shaw. Two youngsters combined. Shaw goes towards the wing. All Footscray. Three of them out there. Wallace. Fumble. Still got it back. Stanfield chips it out wide. This is Johnson. About 75 metres from goal. Feeds it back inside to Cameron. He'll go close from here. Long kick from Cameron. They contest about a metre up. Chris Grant almost the mark. Rather untidy by Ralph Smith. Could have almost been a free kick to Chris Grant. It's a behind. And the Bulldogs increase their lead.
Yeah, it's almost a mark there. And Danny Frawley. And I think the umpire did the right thing in not awarding it. But as you said, Dennis, Ralph Smith had no need to really come in and jump on Chris Grant.
David Grant kicks in. Some risk involved there. Osborne comes away with it. Snaps from 40. Good looking effort. That's 5. So the former Fitzroy star doing very well in the last few weeks on the forward line for the Bulldogs.
Yes, he's had a pretty good season. A little bit scratchy early in the season, Richard Osborne. But he's a real opportunist around goal. He's got tremendous pace, can take a mark also. Of course, suffered that setback a few seasons ago when playing for Victoria, when he had his cheekbones shattered. And also that nasty incident up at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
So 5 goals to Richard Osborne. The difference out to 25 points now. Things looking a bit grim for the Saints. Quill, the half forward. Bounce is going to be a factor, and that's the way it turned out. Grant. Long hand pass intended for Cameron. West over the top. They should get another one here. Croft 25 metres out and closing kicks a goal. That's his second. And Footscray with the foot on the accelerator now early in the last quarter. 15-11, 101, 10-10, 70. The difference 31 points.
Yes, that could be the nail in the coffin almost for the Saints. Here's Chris Grant. He's been very lively. He's had a tough opponent in Danny Frawley all afternoon. The handball just spilling nicely there for Scotty West, fortunately. And Matthew Croft finishing it off.
Scott West, a real improving player. 23 possessions today. Had the ball again, dragged off it. Rakes it back in. And the ball up. So the Saints now falling off the pace again. I suppose we saw the example late in that previous term, though. If they can get it down to the forward line, Lockett always a chance to get them a goal. Damon Shaw's kick doesn't go very far. Anderson knocks it out wide. Peckett obviously moved. Has this ball on the wing.
Yeah, Osborne now being picked up by David Grant.
Peckett, not a good kick. Directly to Quill. Quill across half back. Crediuk. They found space all day long. Back to Quill. Through the middle he comes. Quill floats it down towards half forward. Beveridge in front. Lappin did very well over the top. Started the day on the bench. Matthew Lappin. Not much of him. But that was a clever mark. Across the ground to Peckett. Closing on him Wallace. This will be interesting. Wallace quite prepared to concede a free kick there. Hold him without it. Peckett wants to go quickly and does over the top to Anderson.
Dean Anderson, sort of left centre wing. Vidovic the target, gets underneath it. Punch away by Costa. Quill goes at the ball hard. Devonport straight down the spine, and the mark taken by Nathan Burke. Probably for four good quarters, he'd be one of St Kilda's best. Lockett, should have taken that. He still might be able to kick it across his body. The snapshot is close, will land just about in the square, but bounces out of bounds. A throw in St Kilda's right forward pocket. The Saints against the wind. 13.5 minutes left in the last quarter. 12 kicks to Lockett this afternoon.
Yeah, you can't believe he dropped that one, Pete.
No, I can't either. He'd generally swallow that, wouldn't he? Lowe and Stanfield. Lowe just a little bit of a nudge over the top. Keogh. Southern nearly had his head taken off, or his ponytail. And then Big Danny. Look as though he enjoys his footy. Danny Southern, left back pocket. Cameron the flyer, couldn't come down with the football. Harvey farms it out. Peckett to half forward. Not a well-weighted kick. Crediuk, who's been good. So too is Hunter. And Croft, if it bounces kindly for him, didn't bounce his way. Good tackle applied by Lappin. And that stopped any run that Footscray had there. The youngster from Chiltern.
Would have been good for Luke Beveridge to do the shepherding there and allow Matthew Croft to come through. He had the run of the ball.
He did have the run, didn't he? Up high was Grant. Cameron. Errant hand pass. Peckett. Still he pressures him though. Peckett. Oh, well done. Well done. Obviously relishing the move away from full forward. Low, mark or free kick. You take your pick. 7 marks now to Stewie Lowe. Gives that one off quickly. Damon Shaw. Now he's going to have to come back. And I'll ask you why.
He took a couple of marks early, Stewie Lowe, on Matthew Croft, but since Stanfield's been placed at centre-half back, it's been much tougher for him. And also, it's been a good move for Footscray at the other end of the ground because Croft's kicked 2 goals at half forward.
Much improved player, Croft. Stewie Lowe missing a lot of the season through injury. The groin operation he had. Burke and Hawkins, a couple of the stages, especially the latter. It's out of bounds. Right half forward for the Saints, about 60 metres from goal. Not a good pass there. It was much too high.
How many times have we seen that, Bernie?
Yeah,
high passes today.
Exactly. Well, you know, that's a skill error, and it wasn't a difficult kick under no sort of pressure.
Just a few moments ago, Peckett, when he centred that ball, the same thing to a leading player. It's been on all day, just showing too much of the ball to the defenders. 15-11 to 10-10. So 31 points the difference, and Footscray with the breeze. Hard to see them losing from here. Stanfield backhands it out of bounds. It'll be thrown in. Footscray, a pretty tough finish to the season. So this was one I'm sure they penciled in for a victory. Competition and a very exciting stage now. Footscray with a real chance to be in the September-October action. Here's Quill. The mark is held on the wing by Cameron, who centres the ball into the path of West. Like his game, goes over the top. Croft, all the time in the world. Chris Grant on the 50, goes long and just wide of the marker behind.
It's one of their tough games coming up is Brisbane. I think it's next week, tomorrow week. 32 points the difference, and it's at the Gabba. Harvey should mark. He does. So that's going to test them. The Bears probably out of contention, but always tough to beat up there, as most sides have found this year. Crediok and Devonport see the ball over the boundary line in the sunshine on the outer side.
Stewie Lowe off talking to the coach on the phone at the interchange area, and on for St Kilda for the time being anyway is Wayne Thornborough.
Well, the Dogs finish with the West Coast Eagles at Subi, I think, and they've got Melbourne as well, so that 3 games, pretty tough.
Well, if they can win those, they deserve to be in the 8. Devonport, high kick, Crediok, Burke. Well, latter comes in from behind, couldn't take the mark. Stanfield, we spoke about him. Shirt fronts Burke, but he's caught with the football. And the umpire will bounce it, and Burke say, hey, what about a free kick? Nothing doing. Here he is, he's caught. Certainly had plenty of time to get rid of it. Thornborough knocks it down. Harvey to half forward. Bounce certainly a factor. Footscray with the numbers. Hawkins. This is Quill. Burke's got him. Tackled a little bit late in the end. Croft, as I said before, a much improved player. West. The pass to Osborne, excellent, but juggle, 1, 2, 3, couldn't take it. Grant gets back, applies a tackle. The 2 Grants are there, the 2 that collided earlier. Grant gives away the hand pass. West should kick a goal. Should, but he doesn't. He's missed to the near side and gets only 1 behind. He's second for the afternoon. Had a chance to put the game beyond doubt, but the Saints stagnating on 10-10. In fact, that was their score at 3/4 time, wasn't it? 15-13, the difference 33 points.
David Grant to bring it in. And with the scoreboard like it is and the season like it is, you've got to admire his courage in that last exchange out across the half-back line as he kicks it to Ralph Smith. Ralph Smith kicks it very high. Peckett has to wait, takes the mark on the wing.
Yes, they had a scoreless quarter, St Kilda, in round 14 here at Waverley against Adelaide. When they drew that match, couldn't kick 1 behind in that last quarter. Adelaide kicking 4-5 to draw the match.
Stewie Lowe down towards half forward, and the mark is juggled down there by Everett. Just outside the 50. Lockett drops back to the square. Under 10 minutes to go now. There's Lockett and Reynolds. And Everett taking plenty of time and getting plenty of advice. Sets it up for Lockett. He's outnumbered 2 on 1, and the mark is held in front by Krediuk.
He does that very nicely. He did that against Gary Ablett very effectively a few weeks ago.
Wallace, who's been very good this afternoon, has the ball on the outer side. 22 possessions for him. Clever mark by Devonport in front of Watts. 1 on 1, and he won it. Keogh. Interesting hand pass. Gee whiz, that makes it hard. Hollow on hands and knees. We'll call it a hollow victory. Keogh goes in, met solidly by Johnson. A ball up. Well, he really made Hollow work, and Hollow got the better of the situation, but only just, and nothing came of it. So bounce in the shaded area, and the ball carries to the sunny area. Harvey to Frawley. Off one step, down towards half forward. O'Brien to Anderson. A high kick inside the 50. They come from all directions. Well, Lowe was bundled unceremoniously out of it. Stanfield stood his ground against Lockett, and they worked it very nicely. Hawkins got it away, and the kick comes from Quill to be marked by Croft.
Croft short of centre wing with 8 minutes left in the match. And percentage, of course, is going to be a big factor in this run home to the final 8. Now taken by Ilya Grigic. Haven't seen too much of him this afternoon. Osborne dragged off the footy by Grant, and he'll take the free kick. He's kicked 5 goals today, Richard Osborne. No blemishes there, but he did have a miss, I think, earlier. Kicked it short or out of bounds. Let's watch this again. Too high.
And holding the Guernsey also.
Osborne missed the earlier part of the year when he tried out as a kicker in American football. Nothing came of that as Vidovic prepares to come back onto the ground. Osborne on the angle, about 60 degrees. Not going to get a goal out of that. In fact, the umpire calls play on. One behind. I think Chris Grant got that. He's saying it's a goal.
Yeah, Chris Grant, what's going on? Oh, well, the umpire, those hurried snaps close in make it very difficult for the goal umpire.
Well, he hasn't got much daylight to see there, has he really, between the posts? This is the young lad from Chiltern, Matthew Lappin, the cousin of the Lappin that plays up for the Brisbane Bears. I think there's about 8 of them in the family. Well-known footy family up in northern Victoria. Stewie Lowe on centre wing, takes the mark. Back to Sean Ralphsmith, a former Hawk, and there's another one, Dean Anderson.
A 50-metre penalty, I think, being awarded here.
Yes, it is, the second of the day.
Now, what happened there? It appeared
I was watching Anderson.
Stewie Lowe fended off Stanfield. I don't know, I'm not quite sure on that one.
Oh, bad kick. They should have done better with that. Intended for Lockett, but it was never going to be. Hawkins gets it away to Krediuk.
Krediuk, a high kick around the outer side. Watts punches from behind, taken by Johnson. And now Watts again. Back towards Stanfield. It goes to Johnson. Good pressure from the Saints. They win it back. Ralph Smith across to Devonport. It floats it down towards half forward. Costa goes back and takes the clever mark. Kim Costa, drafted by Footscray back in '92, using the pick that sent Darren Baxter to Hawthorn. They work it around the outer side. Croft finds Chris Grant. Grant takes his time and goes for distance. In front, Shaw. Lappin. Pitches just inside the field of play. Chris Grant did pretty well initially. It was taken high, but it was out of bounds. And the ball will be thrown in. So at the present time, Chris Grant can't buy a break.
He's been in the wars, hasn't he? A few incidents today. So boundary thrown on the outer side. Frawley, Wallace. Wallace wins it. The hand pass a little bit too severe. I think it was intended for Watts. Keogh. Well caught. Grant again. Likewise, speaking of well caught, terrific tackle, Harvey. And his lack of it continues. And the Saints star will take the free kick. But Harvey's been magnificent this afternoon, and those stats testify to that. 32 disposals. Terrific grab taken by Lowe in front of Stanfield. He's come into his own again.
He's taken 10 marks, Peter. Stewie Lowe. Great effort.
The biggest hands in the business. Of Corey McKernan of North Melbourne not too far behind him. Burke, Wallace, and Footscray with the numbers again. This is where they're beating St Kilda across half back and around midfield. Punch away by Vidovic. Didn't clear the zone. Now Bardsley just off the edge of the square. Short kick up and under Quill. No trouble to mark. Went off the side of the boot. Bad play. And again the Dogs with the numbers. Cameron takes it from Croft. Reigning best and fairest at the Western Oval. Still he goes. He could just about kick a goal if he continues. Right on 50. Bends it back well. But is missed to the far side and one behind. Kicked by Leon Cameron. His second of the day. 1 goal, 2 against his name. 15-15 to 10-10. The difference out to 35 points. 5 minutes remaining and still the Saints can't break the ice in the last quarter.
Well, that takes Leon Cameron on to 7 goals, 23 for the season.
David Grant goes in short to Pickett. You get the feeling both these sides, as Frawley comes away, are just going through the motions. It's been that way for the last 15 minutes or so. Footscray with the Breeze have always had this game won since they kicked the first few goals of this final term. And at 3/4 time, the Saints only an outside chance. It's going to be a free kick to Stanfield. Footscray players all around him. Hawkins has got it, can go short and does to West. Southern runs past inside, but he ignores that. That's a good afternoon's work. West goes down towards half forward. Grigic in front, content to fist it on. Knocked on cleverly by Beveridge into the path of Cameron. Cameron deep in the pocket, pulls it back. Normally's a chance from there, and that's a magnificent goal. The best of the afternoon. He likes that sort of kick just falling away to his left-hand side. He bent that one back superbly. So in the dying moments of the game, a highlight worth savouring.
Yes, he's one of the better kicks I've ever seen in AFL, VFL football on the opposite side of his body. A natural right footer, but look at that. Hard up against the boundary line. And that is a magnificent kick from Leon Cameron.
Cameron's second goal and Footscray's 16th. The difference out to 41 points now. Finishing with the Breeze and full of running. West again puts them into attack. Beveridge running with the flight of the ball. He's got support from Osborne, who loves these. Inside 50. Doesn't go at goal. Gets it to Johnson, who fumbles. He could still kick one though. 10 metres out and he's put it through. Johnson gets the goal. He'll be going over to Osborne, because that was a terrific assist. 17-15 to 10-10.
Well, there is the youngster at Footscray. Well done by Richard Osborne. A couple of focal points on the forward line, Richard Osborne being one of those. The other one, Chris Grant, who's been reasonably well held by Danny Frawley, although Chris Grant's tried very hard all afternoon. And Danny Frawley, of course, one of the premier defenders in the AFL. And Richard Osborne has appreciated a smaller player playing on him in the forward line this afternoon.
3.5 minutes remain. Up goes Croft doing the rucking now and gets it down. This is Watts. Floats it inside the 50. Lappin worked out of it by Beveridge. In fact, unfairly, says the umpire. So Lappin will get the free, waste no time. Plays on to Shaw. Shaw swings it out wide. Keogh in space on the outer side. Keogh goes down towards half forward. Lowe fell over, so did Stanfield. As a result, all Footscray behind. This is young Darcy. Clips it over the top. Stanfield out of space. Tackled by Burke across the line and a boundary throw in.
Luke Darcy's first disposal in AFL football.
His dad was a good player for Footscray.
He's played full-back and centre-half forward in the late 60s and early 70s. Represented Victoria.
Went across to South Australia and coached over there. Watts claimed by Burke.
I think he now has a motel at Roxby Downs, Dave Darcy.
Well, you know all about that, Bernie.
Obviously be watching this game with a lot of interest this afternoon. Or tonight when he sees the replay.
Bounce on centre wing. Burke. Up and under to the edge of the square. Vidovic. Southern. A fumble. Now Hawkins from Crediuk. Hunter to Wallace. Keeping the statistician busy. Watts from right centre wing. Up high was Grigic. Couldn't take the mark. Harvey pounces on it. Over the top. Throw, was it? Ralph Smith gets it back to him. one of St Kilda's best. He and Nathan Burke have knocked up trying. Devonport kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. Hasn't kicked one since. It has been a real trier as well. There's Nathan Burke. Burke to half forward. Lockett, oh, good mark in front of Keenan Reynolds. Let out well. He knew where Burke was going to put that. And Plugger has a chance for his 6th. He's kicked 5 goals, 4 in a pretty good effort up there. But it's been, well, a nothing quarter for St Kilda, really. Literally, figuratively, every way you like. That's there, but it might lack accuracy. It does, so only 1 behind to the Saints.
We've struggled up on that forward line, St Kilda. Tony Lockett has kicked 5, but apart from him, Craig O'Brien's kicked 2. Devonport kicked 2 in the first quarter, but he's playing in the middle of the ground, so they haven't had the options on the forward line.
Only 4 goal kickers for St Kilda. Can they increase that here? Well, they might. Young Lappin has a snapshot, and he's missed it to the near side. 1 behind. Kicked by Matthew Lappin, his first score of the day, starting on the bench. A minute 18 left in the contest, minute 20. 10-12 to 17-15. The difference 45 points as Hawkins kicks in.
Goes short, looking for Darcy. Set him a bit of a task now. Darcy, nicely done, then lost it. Battles on, feeds it back to Reynolds. Reynolds all the time in the world, across to Hawkins, close to the boundary line. That's a good kick. Not too much space there, but he found Croft, prepared to lead up the ground. Croft, he's been a handy player. Grant. So in restricted space on the outer side, Footscray have moved it up towards the wing. Grant tries to centre it now, and Burke goes back with courage, takes the mark, plays on to Devonport. Not a good kick. It wobbles through the centre and then runs on. Thornborough got the hand pass away. O'Brien held without it. O'Brien inside the centre square goes looking for Lockett. It's not a bad kick either, just a little wide of the mark. They've got a couple out there. Barnsley is one of them. Lockett the other. Barnsley pulls it back. Too much carry again.
This boy's played very well, Dennis. Steve Prettyhook in the back line.
Yeah, since half-time has been terrific. Hawkins gets it across to West.
West kick short. One-on-one duel out there. Pickett close to the boundary line. Forced over by Quill. And the throw-in will take place with only about 10 seconds remaining in the match. So the Saints are going to finish on a low note. Footscray, a good percentage booster for them in the end, but they've had to work. Darcy contests, loses that one. Cameron, right on the boundary line, kicked that great goal. He kicked a couple this afternoon. Holding infringement there, going Footscray's way. Beveridge will take the free if he wanted to, but there's no need. The Bulldogs have run out convincing winners here at Waverley, and the final scores showing Footscray scoring 17-15. Another 5 goals in the last quarter, 117, defeating the Saints 10-12, 72 by 45 points.